Welcome back to the Luxurious Equestrian Cafe. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to continue the discussion that we started last week in that video about the things that I love to buy but do not really wear. In that video we started a chat about designer work bags. After that I was like, this is kind of a testament to my delulu. There is definitely a discussion to be had on should you wear designer bags to work. I'll get into that at the end of the video. But before that, I thought we would just talk through my designer work bag collection. Because as you know, I've collected handbags for a long time. I mean, more than half of my life at this point. And thus, I started buying designer bags before I was actually working. So my thought process on buying designer work bags was actually just in dream world, right? It was for my fantasy self. And most of these bags are definitely those like dream items that I bought thinking that I would actually wear them to work. But now that I've been a professional for approximately 7 years, right? I've realized that maybe a Birkin to work is a bit of a strange concept, at least in the industry I'm in. And that's also a disclaimer that I want to make. This will all depend on what industry you're in, what level of dress code you have to work, and what's normal in your workplace. In my workplace, a Birkin to work is definitely not a normal occurrence. I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear a Birkin to work. Ever in my career, to be honest, apart from myself when I've worn a Birkin to work. So I guess that sets the tone a little bit for the type of workplace I am in. Now, my dress code is usually like a business casual type dress code. And in a business casual dress code, a Birkin seems a little bit excessive, at least in my mind. And therefore, a Birkin, of course, a brilliant, beautiful bag, right? But maybe not something that I should have invested in for a work scenario. Right, this is my Birkin 35 in Epsom leather with white contrasting stitching on the gold leather with gold hardware. This, I think, is an absolutely stunning bag, and looking at it objectively, right, this is one of those bags that I'm like, oh my god, this is absolutely beautiful. The collector in me says that this is a good purchase, right, and that it's a solid piece to have in my collection. But when actually thinking about it in a workplace scenario, does it make sense and should it be considered a work bag? I might argue for my use case, right, that it should not be considered a work bag. It's a quite heavy bag, right, which is kind of making it difficult to hold up. Maybe this is better. It's one of those, right? You can put your laptop, you can put a sweater, you can put an umbrella, you can put your water bottle, you can put your packed lunch if you want to, right? But for me, and how I treat my like very much expensive designer bags, I don't really want to wear them to work because, as we discussed in my video last week, I don't really take the time to enjoy wearing my work bags. This I've realized just this year, I would say, that my work bags, they come along, they fit everything that I need them to fit, but they're not really something that I, take the time to look at, to enjoy, to be like, oh my god, I'm wearing this beautiful bag. That's more what I would do like on the weekend in my spare time when I pick out a bag to match my outfit beautifully, and it's one of those like, oh my god, I'm wearing a look right now. And yes, I wear outfits that I consider beautiful, right, in my workday, but I don't necessarily feel like I need to top the look off with a designer bag, if that makes sense. Which is why a Birkin to work, for me, maybe not the most thought through concept. Regardless, I'm talking about it as a designer work bag because that's the use case that I bought it for when I bought it back in. When did I buy this? I do not remember now, but I've for sure had it for over a decade. But it's a beautiful bag. I'm not gonna part ways with it, even though I struggle to pair like the gold color quite a bit, to be honest. Will I ever decide to sell it? Who knows? I mean, maybe cows will fly one day. That might be just as likely, but Stunning bag, bought it for work. The same went for this. This was a bag that I bought just as I was graduating university and just as I was stepping into my first like big girl job. This is the Prada Double bag in the size large. It is in this Saffiano leather. It's in a noir color with a red interior, right? On paper, I think this is a stunning bag, or not only on paper, right? This is a stunning bag. I think this gives, you know, back in the day where everyone watched Scandal, this gives Olivia Pope and like her fabulous like office outfits in the best way, literally. That was my inspiration for buying this bag, to be completely honest. It's a very practical bag, right? It has 2 compartments and it has one little slim kind of envelope compartment in the middle. Yeah, I've never put anything in here, I think, or at least from memory. It has a top handle, right, which is quite a generous drop, right, so that you can fit it like in the crook of your arm seamlessly. You cannot really wear it as a shoulder bag, right, but if you want to have like a shoulder moment, then you can use the shoulder strap, right? So it's a brilliant bag. Like, it's super well designed and it's super well thought through. It fits everything. Like, when I used to wear it to work, I had like my work laptop in the bag, and then I had like my miscellaneous, like all the other things in the front compartment. And I think this is beautiful. I have worn this so much to work, but you know, after the whole like 2020 debacle where everyone went to work from home, I haven't really gone back to it after that, to be honest, because now the majority of the work I do is from home. If I'm not working from home, I'm traveling, and I'm traveling basically every week, but I don't find this a very like convenient travel bag. Yes, I mean, you can travel with it. It goes super well for travel. Like, it's a super chic bag for travel, I think. I have put it under the seat in front of me in airplanes and stuff so many times. It's not really something I enjoy doing though, because I'm just like, I don't like shoving this in under the seat in front of me. It's a little bit too like tall to fit it comfortably under the seat in front of me, so I have to squish down the handles, and I just do not enjoy doing that. I'm like, I feel like I'm manhandling this beautiful Prada Double bag, and that's not really something that I prefer to do with my designer bags. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't baby them, but equally, I feel like I would rather wear them when I'm actually enjoying wearing the bag, and not just because I have to have something to carry my things in. This is something that me and my dad discuss quite a lot, right? He's always like, well, your bags, beautiful bags and stuff, but, whoa, almost dropped the Prada Double. But in reality, like, a literal plastic bag from the supermarket could do the same job, right? This is not about having something to carry my things in. This is about wearing the bag. And if I'm not actually taking the time to enjoy wearing the bag, does it make sense to have such an expensive and such a, like, stunning piece as my bag? Maybe it should. Maybe I should romanticize my business travel more. But in reality, I just feel like I need something to carry my things, and this feels a little bit like over-engineered for that purpose. I'm thinking this through as I'm talking it through, so maybe I sound a little bit like not really coherent, but you know, this is therapy to me. This is why we do this. I don't really like to plan out my videos like with notes and stuff, because I feel like even if I write notes, I'm never looking at the notes. I feel like I just do better having an idea of what I'm gonna talk about, like with the bags. I just put the bags here and I'm just like, we will manage. We will think this through as we're talking. So maybe that's why I sound a little bit kerfuffled at times. Now, let's maybe take a trip down memory lane to like literally the first work bag I ever purchased, in terms of something that I was like, this is such a great bag for like a laptop and for documents and blah blah blah, but I was actually using it for university. This is a bag that we don't really discuss a lot on my channel. It's obviously from Mulberry, as you can see there on the little tree on the dust bag. And it's a Napa leather tote bag. I don't know the formal name of this tote, but it's basically just a tote bag with a little turn lock closure in Napa leather. Like I said, it doesn't have any feet or anything. The leather is super duper soft and like squishy. I technically adore this bag. I don't really wear it that much, to be completely honest, because I did kind of wear this and use and abuse it. Basically, the shoulder strap is a little bit worn out because I carried way much more in this bag than I probably should have. I traveled a little bit because I didn't live like on campus when I did like my university life, right? So I traveled to and from university like on a daily basis. I carried my books because I am that old that we still had books when I went to university. So I carried my books, my laptop, I carried like my lunch, a water bottle, I carried like the little knickknacks that I needed, like cosmetics or like a hand cream or whatever I needed for the day. And it was all in this bag. And I would probably say, when you go to university, like, do you actually need to carry a designer bag to carry your things? I mean, in Sweden, most people have like a Konken Fjällräven backpack, like that kind of backpack. I have one too. I wore it like for my first week, and then someone was like, you look like every other university girl ever. With your blonde hair, your outfit that you're wearing. I mean, this was back in, like, I started university in like 2013, right? So this was peak horrible fashion era. I was wearing like a camo jacket, like a BCBG camo jacket. I remember black skinny jeans, like Trupa boots, I think they were called, like the Steve Madden Trupa boots, was that it? And just like shirt, I don't know, a random shirt, I don't remember, it was not a memorable shirt, I guess, but that was like my vibe on a daily basis, right? And at that time I thought I needed this instead of just a backpack. I would say with the back problems that I have now at 31, I probably should have just stuck with a backpack instead of buying a designer bag. But the story was like, I bought this bag because I bought my mom this exact same bag. And then I was like, that is a great bag. I should have one too, right? I bought my mom this bag because I accidentally crashed her car. And then I think I've told this story before, but and at that time my dad was like, we will take care of the repairs as long as you buy your mother something nice. And then I was like, something nice is a beautiful Mulberry Tote bag, right? She can use this, I can use this, we can both get one each, right? So out of crashing my mother's car, I got a beautiful bag for myself, right? And also for her, clearly. And then this just became like my daily driver school bag, like my university bag. I mean, it's a beautiful bag. I think I should actually wear it. Or I might actually go into Mulberry and just ask them if there's something they would recommend me to do about the straps. That could be a good first plan of attack, because I mean, it's a beautiful bag. I actually should wear it because now that I hold it up, I'm like, that's so chic and that's so like, I don't know, everyday practical girly useful. And it's just basically unlined, so it just has the kind of backside of the leather, right, the suede on the inside. And oh yes, it has a little, do you see? Oh my god, so chic, I forgot about this. It has a little like purse, I guess, or a little catch-all or something that's fastened by a little strap. Oh my god, look at this bag, it's so squishy, so soft. It's kind of gives me like the Row, like just squishy, soft, beautiful leather material bag, even though I way prefer Mulberry over the Row, but that's just a personal preference. I think the majority of the world would dispute me on that statement at the moment, but anyway, beautiful little work bag, I guess. I never really wore it to work because when I'd done my 5 years of university, right, and graduated, then this was kind of like done, right? The straps are, I mean, I can just show you briefly, like the straps are kind of like falling apart, if you can see that. So I'm kind of like hesitant to actually like wear it more than I already have, I guess, if you can see that. I think the camera is picking it up from what I can see in the viewfinder. But I mean, otherwise, it's a beautiful bag. That's what I'm gonna do now. Thank you for giving me homework. I'm gonna go to Mulberry and ask them, like, if there's anything we can do about the straps, or if I should just continue wearing it until it actually falls apart. But let's see, I guess I'll keep you posted on this journey, but on a similar train of thought, I also bought Very similar concept, different brand and different kind of level of logo, right? I also bought the Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the monogram canvas in the size. This, I think, is such a practical bag. Every time I wear this, which was a long time ago now, and I haven't really worn this to work particularly much. I think, yes, I've worn it sometimes, but this is more just like when you need to fit everything in your bag, then you bring the Neverfull. Of course, the GM fits even more, right? But the PM, no, this is not the PM, but the already fits a significant amount. The leather on this has patinaed to kind of like beyond the honey color, to be honest. I think it looks very worn and very used, but it doesn't show the wear and tear in the same way as the Mulberry bag does. So that might give you some indication of which bag holds up better if you want to use it for literally everything and your living room couch. But this is a brilliant bag. I have it stuffed, so let me just take out the stuffing. It's just a big bucket of space, like I said, that fits all your hopes and dreams, including your work laptop. It has a little like smaller pocket, and then it has like a snap closure, I guess, in the front, which is not really something that I've used particularly much. And then you have like a little D-ring where you can hook your keys and stuff. But for me, this is just like when I need a big bag and I don't really want to worry about it, then I can bring this, because in reality, apologies, let me just put that air thing back. But in reality, right, this is a canvas bag, so it's very hard wearing, and it's, for some reason, like the leather straps on this, even though they're quite thin, they've held up great. I mean, despite of it being a very logo heavy bag, I think could be a good work bag in reality. I would say though, this is probably not something I would recommend you to buy on paper, because I feel like the Louis Vuitton Neverfulls, they've had their moment. They're beautiful bags. I mean, they have like reissued something like last year, or I don't really keep up with Louis Vuitton nowadays, to be honest. But I think because all of the fashion girlies wore like a Neverfull, and they had like one that you could, I think, reverse in and out, right? So you can have it one way or just reverse it and have it the other way. I'm not explaining it well, but I'm just like, I think there are better work bags out there versus a Louis Vuitton Neverfull. Also, I don't think I would wear something like this with all of the logos to work, even though you can have like the Damier Ebene or the Damier Azur or like the Damier Graphite. Is that what it's called? The one with the black? I think that's mainly in the men's range though, but I think that one is kind of chic. But I would say, even though it's a damier, like a checkered pattern, right, I think it's still very recognizably designer. And I've kind of come to the conclusion that something recognizably designer like this for work is not really my cup of tea. If it's your cup of tea, I'm not trying to yuck your yum, right? That's not what we're here for. And obviously it's a great little bag, and I've worn it so much. I don't even remember when I bought it, but I remember that I've worn it so much. And it's been such a great bag in my collection, but one that I'm not really wearing a lot, and definitely not one that I'm wearing for work now. It's more like if I have a leisurely activity where I need just a bunch of stuff, I can bring that one. I have like a gym in my apartment building, and for a brief moment I use that as like my gym bag. I mean, I feel like that's also very excessive, right? I don't need a Louis Vuitton Neverfull to bring my water bottle. I can just carry my water bottle, my phone, and my keys in my hand, and then just drop it on the little table in my gym, because I'm literally the only one there, right? So it's a stupid thing to bring to the gym. But okay, that we pivot. We don't need to roast ourselves in this video, please. A similar bag that I bought much later was my little Celine Tote. This one we've gone on and on about on my channel, and I think this is such a great bag, actually. This is something that I don't know from which collection it is. I don't know which year it was produced. It's very dusty now, to be honest, because it's just been hanging and collecting literal dust. So apologies for that, but this bag, it's a brilliant little bag. I found it like I was home for Christmas, and I had nothing better to do than to scroll Vestiaire Collective because I am useless when it comes to cooking and stuff. So I was scrolling Vestiaire Collective. Me and my father, we were literally benched on the sofa, right? He was scrolling cars, I was scrolling bags. I found this and then I was like, look at this little bag. And then it was like 200 and something euros and I was like, I clearly need it. Right? And that was also like before I was gonna start like a low buy year, so I was clearly feeling like the last minute withdrawals of being like on a shopping ban, I guess. So I purchased this. Now we're completely honest here, but I purchased this. I have tissues in here, but why I bought this and why I think this is so great is not because it has tissues in it. I bought this because I was like, that goes literally with every color that I wear in like my professional life, right? This bag has obviously black, it has navy blue, it has a brown, and it has a gray. Great color palette for a work wardrobe if you ask yours truly. It also is like a decent sized bag, right? It fits a laptop, it fits an umbrella, a water bottle, a sweater, whatever you need to fit in here fits. And you have that little closure, right? I don't think I've ever closed the bag with this buckle because I find it a little bit like of a faff, and I'm not really one for something that feels like a faff to do, especially when it comes to my bags. I would just rather, I don't know, have it on my shoulder and keep it closed with my arm, if that makes sense. But this was a brilliant bag that I've worn so much, but I kind of stopped wearing it because like I said, I kind of don't really go to the office in that sense. And I used to wear this a lot when I was traveling with my Rimowa Classic Cabin luggage. My Rimowa Classic Cabin luggage broke like a year ago and I have not gained the strength to go to Rimowa and to hand it in for repairs, because personally I'm just fed up with that freaking luggage for breaking like all the time. But the point here is not about Rimowa. The point here is about this Celine bag that I used to put on the Rimowa, right, and then carry it kind of like rolling on the suitcase through the airport. So this used to be so good for that purpose, and I used to travel with it so much, and it's held up great actually. The corners are still in brilliant condition and like the bottom of it looks great, right? So this is a beautiful quality actually, and I think it's a great work bag, and also for the fact that I bought it at like 200 euros or something. It's a beautiful Celine bag of beautiful quality. Like, I think this is kind of worth it if you can buy it for like 200 euros on Vestiaire Collective or whatever is your favorite pre-loved website, platform, whatever. Great bag. I bought it at a great price. I wouldn't go back and not buy it. I haven't really used it recently just because my like work life logistics have changed a little bit, both with like I work from home most of the time if I'm not traveling, and I'm not traveling with the Rimowa Classic Cabin luggage, right? So it's kind of like lost its space in my life for the time being. I'm not gonna part ways with this because I think this is a beautiful little just tote. Like, I can carry it in the, like on my shoulder, I can carry it in the crook of my arm. Granted, if I have a thick coat, like a thick coat with a blazer underneath, then this will not fit as a shoulder bag, because then I would need it to have a little bit more of a generous drop versus what it actually has. But that being said, I think it's still a great bag, and like I said, if you can find something like this on Vestiaire Collective, like maybe just do a little kind of photo search like on Google if you want to find it. Here you go. Now you can take a photo and plug it into the Google photo search, and then you can see if you can find it. I taught my mom and my dad the Google photo search the other day, and they are now like photo searching everything. Like, we walked past a tree and my mom was photo searching the tree. That's how my life is going at the moment. Now we're done with the tote bags in my collection. I thought we would just give a brief mention to my MCM Milla bag, because this I actually bought when I had started working, and I thought I was buying it to have it as a work bag. I bought the MCM Milla in the medium size, and the medium size does not fit anything, literally. It doesn't fit a laptop. It's a beautiful bag. Like, I adore the color of this. This just gives me Monaco Ferrari for some reason. Like, I do not know why I feel like this should be something with car sports, right? My association with this is literally stupid, but like, this is such an annoying bag to wear because you have the two compartments, or I mean, you have more than 2 compartments, but you have the 2 main compartments, right? You have one here, and then you have a smaller side compartment here, and then you have one main compartment here, and then you have a smaller side compartment. Then you have a zip in the middle, and the zip is kind of like annoying because it has a lot of resistance to it. And then that also has like a magnetic closure, right? So this bag is all about security. Once again, to go back to the Giggly Squad, this is just a lot of admin in terms of a bag. Plus the fact that it doesn't fit a laptop, and because they have like literally so many compartments, it barely fits anything, even though it's quite a sizable bag, like on paper. I thought I took the measurements of this and I thought it would fit my bag, but I think I just did a bad job taking measurements. The shoulder strap though is stunning as well, but it's a short shoulder strap, so you can't really do this crossbody, which also brings down the wearability points. Like this, I think is one of the worst bags I've ever bought, but it's one of the most beautiful, like aesthetically appealing bags I've ever bought too. So I'm so divided on this. I've thought about selling it, but then I'm always just like, why would I sell it? I will get practically peanuts for this. I don't think these have a good value on the pre-loved market, right? So maybe if you want something like this, go to the pre-loved market, because I think you can find them for a decent price. I think if you want to wear one of these as a laptop bag though, buy the large and not the medium. That's what I should have bought, but I clearly got carried away by this beautiful blue color, and I was just like, oh my god, I need it. And also at that time I was obsessed with the YouTuber Charles Gross, I think his name is, and he had one of these. I think he had a gray one, and after seeing that on his YouTube channel, I'm like, oh my god, that's a beautiful bag, I need to buy one too. And then I bought this one, and then I think I've used it like a couple of times since then, but then in more kind of like, you know, use cases where you're just bopping around the city and you can have it as like a crook of the arm bag versus like a shoulder bag, because that shoulder strap just falls off the shoulder. You can't have it crossbody, so it's more like an accessory that I would clip onto the bag to have the beautiful shoulder strap as an accessory, but not really something that is useful. So on paper, amazing, stunning, gorgeous work bag. In reality, like terrible bag. But you know, this is also the thing, right? I think if this fit my laptop and if it was working out as I thought it would, right? Crossbody, fit the laptop, everything was as I thought it would be in my mind, then I think this would have been a brilliant bag. Like this had so much potential, but it felt so flat when it arrived. So, you know, you live and you learn, and it's a beautiful bag, and I think it's one of those bags, like when I ask my parents what bags in my collections are their favorite, my dad always says that this is one of his favorites. To be completely honest, I think it's mainly because of the color, because he adores blue, right? So that would make sense. This beautiful bag, but useless in my collection. And now, while on the topic of colorful bags, this is another kind of useless bag in my collection. This is my Cartier like vintage architect bag. It's not called the architect bag, but it kind of gives me architect vibes. This is one of those bags, like when I put it over my body, like literally it carries like down to my knees, it feels like. Maybe I need to like try to show you in some sort of way. Like this is such an awkward carry, right? This is my waist, and then it just falls down to like an appropriate skirt length, I feel like. But it's not an appropriate bag length. Like this is just so awkward. Now I'm gonna sit down again, but I just needed to show you like why I struggle with this bag, because I mean, yes, it's a beautiful bag. I adore the color. Obviously, I adore these Cartier bags in general, right? With the color, with the hardware, with the decadent nature of the bags, right? And also because it's Cartier, because Cartier is one of my favorite brands. But like I never use it because it carries kind of awkwardly, and it feels like the weight distribution on my body would be kind of off. Because I feel like if I had like a bunch of heavy stuff like my laptop in this bag, I would just be kicking it around on my leg, right? And the weight would be so far down on my body that it would be like an uncomfortable wearing experience. I say this without even like having tried to wear this bag, I think. I might have worn it like one time, but I haven't worn it that much. And this was a stupid purchase. And like the key takeaway here is that take the measurements. If you're gonna wear a bag to work, make sure that it actually fits a laptop and that it actually carries comfortably, because at the end of the day, if you're wearing a bag to work, it has to actually make sense to wear it to work. In my opinion, at least. I'm not really wearing a work bag just for the vibes, even though like most of my bags I just wear for the vibes, but that's not the case when I'm actually trying to get somewhere and to get something done. Now, an Hermès bag that I just wanted to argue quickly that actually could be a good work bag is the Hermès Evelyne GM. The Hermès Evelyne GM fits a laptop. Or at least, I mean, depending on which laptop, it might not fit yours, but it fits my 13-inch laptop, and I'm just like, yes, it sticks out a teeny tiny bit on the top, but that doesn't really bother me, right? So this is actually a great bag, and it's one of those, like, it's a discreet designer bag. You won't really, like, unless you're an Hermès fan, you don't really know that this is a designer bag in general, because it just looks like a leather tote, essentially. And like I have mine in the version 2, right, which arguably I would say is the best version, because then you don't have to like faff on with like adjusting the length of the shoulder strap and stuff. Like it already comes in the perfect length, so why buy the one with the adjustable strap? Like, it's just annoying in my opinion. If you want to wear it like as a more kind of logo heavy bag, you can of course wear it with a back to the front. It's not my preferred way, once again, but you do you, boo. That's the key takeaway. This is, I think, if you're like, I want to wear the most luxurious work bag ever, I would say, yes, if you want to wear the most luxurious work bag ever, and you're one of these people that actually, like, enjoy wearing your bags to work, then wear the Birkin. Like, buy the Birkin and wear it to work, and just enjoy it and live your best life. But if you're like me and you're a little bit more like, ugh, I don't want to bother, the Hermès Evelyne, especially like in the GM size if you want to fit a laptop, is such a brilliant work bag, and I think not enough people talk about it. And I've been scrolling Vestiaire Collective as per usual just to see what's out there. And I've seen a few like Evelyne in the version 2, and I'm just like, I'm intrigued to buy them because I adore the version 2. And I think the version 2 is superior, and the version 2 is usually a little bit lower priced as well. So if you're in the market for an Hermès Evelyne, perhaps check the pre-loved market. And now you might be like, Amanda, if you're not wearing any of those bags to work, what are you actually wearing to work? This is a predictable answer, because this is something that we've discussed on my channel a lot recently. And it is my Oleada bags. This is not something that I'm saying because I'm working with Oleada, but this is something I'm saying because it's the reality. And it's something that I've realized, like I said, kind of this year, right, that I prefer like a luxurious, well put together, like well crafted bag, but not necessarily something that is a designer bag that I have to be like, or feel like I have to be careful with, and something that I feel like, you know, I have to be a little bit more mindful where I carry it, what time of the day I'm carrying it, stuff like this. A bag like this, it's practical, it's beautiful, it's chic, it fits literally everything and the kitchen sink. It has a micro suede interior, right? So it's easy to clean. Like if I spill something in this, I can just take a tissue and just wipe it off. It also has like a little catch-all or a little pouch, I guess, that is also quite sizable and where you can fit a bunch. I've clipped it in kind of like a little clutch bag formation, because I'm like, this is kind of brilliant. If you just need a little like dinner bag or something, then you can just take this to dinner and you have a little bag and you don't have to bring this big bag, right? So this, I think, is just a stunning bag. I have mine in the chocolate color with the jacquard fabric and the smooth leather. There's also one in like a full leather version, and you have like a black one, you have a Bordeaux colored one, or in Oleada's terms, a scarlet colored one, which is absolutely stunning. I think though, for me, like this gives me equestrian vibes, and I just adore this bag. I would also say, if this kind of bag is not your ideal bag, then something like this might float your boat, right? This is the Marina Carryall. This fits basically everything you need to fit in it. It has a laptop compartment in the back, and then it has a big kind of main compartment in the front with a big zippered pocket, as you can see right there, with some like slip pockets here in the front, with a little water bottle compartment right here, and then you have that little clip where you can clip like your keys or something. And Oleada truly has thought through like all the different use cases with this type of bag, right? You have the top handle, you have the crossbody strap, and you have like an option to put the other strap as well, like in backpack mode, and carry it as a backpack. And if you want to have it on top of your rolly suitcase, you just put this over the handle of the suitcase and then it just stays beautifully on your suitcase. Like, this is just such a brilliant bag, and it's something that I've worn quite a bit. I'm not really scared of putting it on the floor and stuff. One, because it's of great quality leather, right? But also because it has the feet underneath. So this is just something that I've been leaning towards a lot recently, like in my work travel life, or like when I need a work bag, then I wear either this or I wear the Marina soft bucket bag. And these are both such beautiful bags. And I'm just like, if I only had these like a few years ago, maybe I wouldn't have bought like 8 other designer work bags, right? Because in reality, like a designer bag to work feels a little bit like a liability versus just something that could be easygoing and you could just fit all your things in it and it could still look chic and beautiful, but it doesn't feel like something that you need to take care of and be mindful of in the same way. If you're thinking of what bag should I wear to work, I think start off with something like this. It started raining out there. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. I adore like a rainy afternoon. How amazing. But I think something like this is just such a brilliant alternative to something like a designer bag because, for one, they're great quality, they're stunning designs, they're well thought through. Oleada itself is a brand that's founded by women, so I think that's also great, and that's also something that I personally like to support. And they're sustainably minded. They do a few new collections here and there, but they're not a fast fashion brand, right? And that I think is an important distinction to make. I'm not someone who would just say, well, go and buy the cheapest bag possible and just wear it until it breaks and then that's it. I still want to wear like a beautiful, high quality bag, but I don't necessarily want to wear like a designer bag to my work occasions. So that's where something like Oleada is such a brilliant brand for that. I do have an Oleada discount code and it's ASOleada25. Oleada is soon starting their Black Friday promotions, right? I don't know what they are yet, but the Oleada team promised me that it would be something worthwhile and something worthwhile looking into. So we will clearly have to look into that when the Black Friday sales start. So I just wanted to shout out Oleada as a beautiful option, and obviously with Black Friday coming up, let's see what kind of deals we can make, right? But in any case, it's such a brilliant brand. The team is so nice, and I just love to support the Oleada brand because they make beautiful products. Their team is super kind, and they're a brand that's rooted in sustainability and kind of mindful shopping and founded by women. Now, the whole question of should we wear designer bags to work, I would say I'm not really one to speak on this because I think the answer is just it depends. It depends on your workplace, it depends on your dress code, it depends on what people around you like to wear to work. But in general though, for me, I feel like the bag that I lug my ugly work laptop in doesn't necessarily need to be a designer bag, and it's not necessarily something that I particularly want to spend designer bag money on. I think my designer bag money I would rather spend on something that's a bag that I get more joy out of using and that I actually take the time to, you know, think about enjoying when I'm actually wearing it, and not necessarily something that I'm just trying to rush through the airport as quickly as possible and shove it under the seat in front of me on the plane kind of a thing. But I mean, that's my use case. That's not your use case. If you go to an office where a lot of people like to dress up, a lot of people like to wear designer bags, and you feel like you want to buy into that narrative and you want to do that too. I mean, I would probably do that if I went to that kind of an office, right? But I don't, and that's my reality. But if you do, go wear that designer work bag, enjoy it, and just get that kind of extra pep in your step as you take the elevator up to your office. You walk into the office with the girlies, right, with your designer bags. I'm like, I'm living for you guys if you can do that. I would say though, that's not me and that's not my scenario. And this is a topic that I go back and forth on, right? And obviously not something that I've had the same opinion on throughout my career, right? But it's also something that I realized that I kind of should be a little bit mindful of, because at the end of the day, like, I've gotten quite a lot of comments when wearing designer bags to work, and I don't think it's from a condescending place people are making comments. There's one comment that I've gotten quite a few times actually from different people, and it's, "Oh, you're wearing a nice bag, you must be doing well." And at first, like, I was a little bit puzzled by that comment, because I'm like, this is a dude who's wearing like a Rolex watch. Why do you have the audacity to comment on literally my YSL bag I was wearing at the time? I was wearing my little YSL, what's it called, envelope chain wallet? Like the gray one with like an outfit that it was also gray. So it went with the outfit of like the monochrome gray look, right? So for me, it was like the perfect occasion to wear that bag. And do you know what my answer was? I was like, well, I bought this before I had this job, so I guess I've been doing well for a long time. I would say, I know that's not the answer that most people would give, but I'm quite a confrontational person, right? So if someone makes a stupid statement to me, I will make a stupid statement back. And then he shut up and changed topics, right? So I think that's a great way to shut someone up if you want to do that. But I think it's not something you should say if it's your boss or something, because at the end of the day, those are the people who would sign off your promotion, right? So you need to be a little bit more political and careful with that. I'm not going to talk about the politics of corporate America or corporate wherever you live, right? That's not up to me to talk about, because this is like a luxury fashion channel and I would like to escape the work politics while I'm here with you guys. So let's just pivot. But a rule of thumb that I usually have in mind, right, when choosing what level of bag or what level of outfit or something like this to wear, I usually think about, okay, what's the highest ranking person wearing? And if that highest ranking person is wearing something that's kind of on a lower level on the design spectrum, right, versus what I'm planning to wear, then maybe don't wear that, right? Maybe blending in is good once in a while, especially in a workplace where, like I said, you have to be mindful of who's signing off your promotion, because at the end of the day, I'm assuming that both you and me are people who want to do well in our work and who want to look good doing our work, but also being mindful of what actually fits in and what kind of bags would send the right message versus something that you might not want to communicate with your bag. Now, I go back and forth on this topic all the time. I wish I could just sit here and say, just wear the bag you want and don't think about the people around you. Because honestly, that's my kind of base case and that's what I would like to do, but reality has kind of taught me differently, I guess. So do with that what you will. I'm not saying this is absolute truth. I'm just sharing my experience on my teeny tiny YouTube channel with you. So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, apply your own knowledge and your own thought process to this, and then we'll be all good. Now, like I said, I'm not saying that I'm not wearing designer things to work. I wear an Hermès Click H bracelet all the time. I wear my Cartier watch quite often to work, not necessarily this 18 karat gold one, but usually just my stainless steel one, or like the vintage Omega watch that I got from my dad. I wear like designer clothing in general, like my Brunello Cucinelli blazer is one of my favorite blazers, or my like Max Mara coats, or my Burberry coat, or my Burberry trench coats, right? I'm wearing quite a bit of designer pieces already, and I'm one of these people, I would rather buy one thing and buy it well and then wear that for years, right? So I'm not saying go buy fast fashion for your work wardrobe. I would never do that, and I would never say that. Buy high quality, think about what blends in or what kind of feels comfortable to you in your workplace, because at the end of the day, that's the most important. Wearing what you feel comfortable and confident in and what you enjoy wearing. For me, that has tended to less and less be designer bags and more be these beautiful high quality and chic Oleada bags instead, but something without a logo and something that I don't feel like I have to be as mindful of when I show up to my workplace. And I think that's the end of the story, actually. It all depends What you want to do is what you do. What I want to do is what I do. And I shared my 2 cents here. Please do share your 2 cents in the comments as well on what your thought process is on designer bags to work. Also, what bag do you wear to work? Do you also wear an Oleada bag to work? Do you wear a Chanel bag? Do you wear an Hermès Birkin to work? Like, I am so keen to hear your thoughts in the comments on this topic, because like I said, this is something that I battle with in my mind, probably more than I would like to admit, honestly. So please do share your wisdom and your thought process on this topic in the comments. And if you're in the market for a great work bag, may I recommend Oleada bags? They're my favorites. And we do have that discount code as well with Oleada. And with their Black Friday promotion coming up, I'm just shouting it out in case you are in the market for it. I will leave all the links and stuff to Oleada in the description box for easy access. But other than that, I just wanted to say that I hope you will have a wonderful remainder of your day. If you're watching this on a Sunday and you're just sitting comfortably, I know one of you guys say that you always have like your Ralph Lauren mug and you watch these videos on your Sunday mornings, and I'm just like, oh my god, I adore your guys' fabulous vibes, and with like a Ralph Lauren mug, like that fits beautifully into the luxurious equestrian cafe, which I think this kind of is all of this channel, right? So I'm sending you so much love, and I'm sending you a virtual hug. I will see you back here with my next video, and until then, stay safe, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye.